So we can create a new empty list. We can use the len to find the lengths. We can use the word list to make a copy of our uh, list. We can have multiplication to uh, create replicating. We can add two lists together. We can have slicing. We can have a function sum, mean, max, and equal is going to check to be sure that my list has the same element in the same order. We have a pop. If I don't put anything in there, and you can pay attention to this, that Python does this a lot, and we will work going that direction, that I can have the same method with one parameter, two parameter. So overloading is used a lot in Python. So if I don't put anything in my If I don't put anything in my pop, it's going to remove the last one. And if I put a position, it's going to remove that position. Insert is going to have a position that I'm going to insert this element in that position. Append is going to put it at the end, and it's going to update the list. Index is going to give us the index of that element. And again, the key here is that the element has to be in the list. Otherwise, you're going to have an exception, which if you don't handle it, it can potentially crash your program. So if I want to use the index, I'm going to check to be sure it is in there first before I use the index. Remove is going to remove that element. And of course, we have a sort. Again, with the same thing with the remove, I want to check to see if the element does exist before I remove it. So I'm going to go quickly on some of these things, and we're going to spend a little time on the other ones. So we can create a list, and we can go through a loop, and we basically fill it up with certain number. So we are using a for loop. I am encouraging you guys to practice this for loop. It's used a lot, and we are got to get used to it because we coming from other languages, maybe we are not used to this. So we can go through it, and we can combine them. Again, when you're using for each, this element is a copy of each element in the list. So if you update this element, it's not going to affect your list. So here we're creating a string, and we're adding stuff in the string. We can put the we can put a separator for the list that we have. So one way of doing is we're putting a comma before each one of them except the first one, or we can put a comma after each one of them except the last one. So you decide how you want to do it, and that's the way we're going to do it. A reminder, I am pretty sure all of you know this, that if I want to print in the same line, I put and equal this. Of course, remember we can put something in this character, and it's going to change your carriage return to that character. So if I want to manually go through it, I can do that through the for loop. Linear search, I can go and search, but again, you have these algorithms inside modules that you can use. You guys had this already. I'm not going to go through that. So I can go through a list, and if I find something match, I can remove it. So I think one of your assignment is going to be removing a duplicate or something. So swapping element, you already know about this. You put it in the temp, and then you put the first one in the temp, you put the second one in the first one, you put the temp on the second one. So because the list can grow, we can use it to keep asking the user for some values. Again, remember how we're going to do the while loop. We're going to be reading from the user, and then in the while loop, we're going to check for the queue. So if the user put a queue, of course, we're going to be using the upper. So if it's lowercase and uppercase, we can accept both of them. And then if that's the case, we are going to get it from the user. We're going to change it to the float, and we're going to append it. So we are having a list of decimal numbers.